The only way I can personally describe depression is to put it in the way I felt and describe my feelings. You know, at the worst part of it, it's a very, very deep sadness. And the loneliness and the hopelessness that come into it are at levels just so hard to describe. All these emotions I'd felt many times in my life. I had been sad before, or, you know, I'd had trauma in my life and loss in my life and grief before, but this was so intense. The sadness was overwhelming. It was literally paralyzing. The way I could describe it is I felt like I was dead, but my body didn't know it. You know, I was still breathing. I was still going through the motions of being alive, but it was painful. And that pain, like, is in physical pain. My soul was in pain. You know, and I can even remember now at night just the contortions I was going through, and I thought it was all just due to the reaction of what was going on in my life. And I realized, I mean, that was just the emotional part of me just twisting and turning. And it did feel like death. But then I began to do all of the worldly things. I tried to take control of the situation, and that's my nature. That's one of the things that this whole process has revealed to me was, you know, that what God was doing in my life was exposing some parts of me that I needed to have exposed by Him. And one of them was control. You know, I did all the things that the world told me to do. I tried to stop the process. I frantically, you know, began to try to control the entire environment from, you know, financial, emotional, physical. I had bad medical things happening to me because of the amount of stress. You know, I started trying all those approaches. It was just out of control. I was trying to control, but I was out of control. It's a process you don't even realize is happening to you. Little by little, as things weren't working in any of those areas, anxiety and fear began just to become more and more overwhelming. I can remember talking to Pastor Steve at small group, and I think that's when he recognized how much trouble I was in. It just, I must have looked horrible from the outside, because I'd never had anybody ever say to me before, "Are you okay?" You know, those kind of questions in that kind of level. And I think he recognized just how serious it had become. I couldn't see it. When I was looking in the mirror, I wasn't seeing anything. But my physical nature was changing, and then the hopelessness that came with that was that eventually the anxiety and the fear just overwhelmed me. And pretty soon, all I could focus on was the circumstances I was in. Now looking back, I realized that I could not, on my own, have understood what was happening. I needed someone to help me understand that darkness, to understand what was happening to me. And I needed brothers and sisters to come alongside me with love, to be able to help me understand what was going on. And once I did, I could feel, maybe this is hard to understand, when you don't feel anything, when you are in that state, it's hard even to feel that you're depressed. People have to almost tell you, you know, there's something wrong with you. But as that love came in, I began to sense that I knew how much trouble I was in, that I had been completely engulfed by this. You know, I still felt I had some thought and presence of God, but I felt like an atheist. I questioned everything. I mean, things that rocks in my faith, big rocks that I stood on, all of them were in question. God's love, His sovereignty, His ability to heal me. I had doubt in every single one of those areas. I couldn't do anything spiritual.